सूर्य कोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। I, Dr. Smriti Pari, Assistant Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Conclave University, extend a very warm and hearty welcome to this two-day International Media Conclave on Media, Politics and Democracy, organized by PG Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, supported by UNICEF and TBMODL, Odisha. As we all know, the relationship between media, politics and democracy is complex and multifaceted. Media, with its diverse platforms from traditional newspapers to social media and online media outlets, it is omnipresent. With its immense power, it plays a crucial role in shaping public opinion, influencing political discourse, and determining the course of democracy. At the very outset, before we start the program, I would like to say a few lines. कि तोड़ना है हर पिंजरा, कि तोड़ना है हर पिंजरा, मेरी उड़ान अभी बाकी है, मंजिलें ज़मीं भर नहीं, आसमान अभी बाकी है, लहरों का थमना नहीं समंदर की बेबसी, लहरों का थमना नहीं समंदर की बेबसी, बाहर खामोशी जरूर, भीतर कई तूफान अभी बाकी है। तो जोरदार तालियां हो जाए और तालियों के साथ अभी कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करेंगे, कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। सबसे पहले आमंत्रित करती हूँ मैं हमारे आज के जो अतिथि हैं वे मंच पे आए और अपना आसन ग्रहण करें। सर्वप्रथम अभी हमारे बीच है नहीं प्रोफेसर संतोष कुमार त्रिपाठी, once he joins us will be taking his seat. Professor Ghulam Rahman is with us, former Chief Information Commissioner Government of Bangladesh, editor of Aaj Ke Patrika. Dr. Sir, I request you to kindly come up with the days. जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें। We have amongst us Professor K.B. Nagaraj, former Pro Vice Chancellor, Assam Central University, Silchar, one of the senior most media educator and researcher in India. So please, I also request you to kindly come up with the days. We have amongst us Professor Sanjeev Bhanavat, former head, Center for Mass Communication, University of Rajasthan, a very popular media educator of this country. So we welcome you, and Professor C.C. Basu, former head, Department of Mass Communication, Banaras Hindu University. Sir has been a Fulbright scholar, worked in several areas like health communications. And I also welcome Professor Sabyasachi Patnaik, Chairman Postgraduate Council of this university, to come up with the dais. I request Dr. Bhartiwala Patnaik Madam, who is convener of this international conference and also head of the department. Madam has been leading us with her values. And I also take this opportunity to welcome Professor Viswajit Das, Director, Center for Culture, Media and Governance, Jamia Millia Islamia. Sir is with us online. And I also take this opportunity to welcome Professor Srinivas Melkote, Development Communication Theorist, and Professor Olive Green, State University, USA. I also welcome you, sir. Sir is with us online. And as goes the tradition of this university, we start any program with the university anthem. So I request one and all present over here to kindly stand in their respective positions for the university anthem.
माटी संतान फकीर मोहन आम जाति भाषा गौरव ताकरी स्मृति रे विश्वविद्यालय ज्ञान विज्ञान विभव फकीर फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय जय चक्र तार सरिब नाही त पथ जेते हेले कण्टकित काळर अमृत सीमारेखा डेई बाटी बसे ज्ञानामृत अमृत तळे सुनेली सपन गढिब ए देश गौरव अमृत तळे सुनेली सपन गढिब ए देश गौरव फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय धन्य ए व्यास विहार धन्य ए ज्ञान मंदिर सत्य साधन पाई संकल्प रहु अमर धन्य ए व्यास विहार धन्य ए ज्ञान मंदिर सत्य साधन पाई संकल्प रहु अमर मुक्त कंठे आस गौरव आनंदे करिब हे जय जय मुक्त कंठे आस गौरव आनंदे करिब हे जय जय फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय फकीर मोहन विश्वविद्यालय विश्वविद्यालय विश्वविद्यालय
है सत्य साधना और स्वाभिमान जैसे जीवन मूल्यों को अंगीकार करते हुए हम सभी समाज और राष्ट्र के विकास के लिए कृत संकल्पित हों। इसी प्रण के साथ आगे बढ़ते हुए I would now request the dignitaries seated on the dais to kindly water the sacred plant. The act of watering plant on every occasion and every event that we organize in this university is symbolic. It signifies our commitment towards protecting the environment. As we all know, this is a no vehicle zone university. There's no plastic in our campus. It's time to felicitate our guests, and for this I request our postgraduate council chairman, Professor Sabithaji Patnaik sir. So we are felicitating Professor Ghulam Rahman sir, is the former Chief Information Commissioner to the Government of Bangladesh, is the editor Ashki Patrika from Dhaka, Senior Educationist and Media Researcher. Now I request sir to also felicitate Professor K.V. Nagraj sir. Professor Nagraj is former Pro-Vice Chancellor, Assam Central University, Silchar, one of the senior most media educator and researcher in this country. Thank you sir for coming to this university and embracing this beautiful occasion. We now request Sabithaji sir to felicitate Professor Sanjeev Bhanavar, a very popular media teacher, researcher in this country. Has been awarded with several prizes, with several. Thank you, sir, for gracing this days and for gracing this occasion. I now request Patnaik sir to felicitate Professor Sisir Basu, former head Department of Mass Communication, Banaras Hindu University. जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करें हमारे अतिथियों का। Welcome sir. I also request sir to felicitate our convener of this conference, Dr. Bharti Varamaiman. She has been working consistently for the development of the department. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us this opportunity to meet and greet media educators across the country and also from abroad. We also request Professor Ghulam Rahman now to felicitate our PG Council Chairman, sir. Thank you, Professor Patnaik, for always encouraging us to organize such conferences, and under your leadership and able guidance, all this has been possible. There, COVID has given us this new, this idea to felicitate online event. So, sir, we once again welcome you and please accept our e-felicitations. We are missing our Vice Chancellor, sir, at this moment. He'll be joining us at any moment now. He is busy with some unavoidable task at his hand. With this, we move forward with our program, and now I request Bhartiwala Patnaik, Madam, convener of this international conference, to come forward and deliver the welcome address.
Respected Professor K.V. Nagraj, Professor Sanjeev Banawat, Professor C.C. Kosu, and Professor Ghulam Rahman, and Srinivas Melkur, and experienced professors and participants, students, and media persons. PG Department of Journalism and Mass Communication in Fakir Mohun University. This is a new department. It was started on 2018. We all regular faculty members joined here on 2020. On 2020, we have started with a national webinar. This is media research and education problems and prospects. On 2021, PhD program was introduced here. Now we have 11 PhD scholars. They are doing PhD under this department. On 2022, the workshops, puppetry intervention programs related to women and child welfare in collaboration with the UNICEF conducted here. Our students are participated there, and with the cooperation, help, support, and always encouraging us to do more and more by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, and the audiovisual studio was established here. Now students are they are doing practicals there, and every day our radio news narrowcasting here morning and evening, and weekly television news also telecasting through YouTube here. And now our department produced 11 short films by the students, and another also workshops for film making and documentary film making workshops are conducted here with the collaboration of UNICEF. Now the topic is media, politics and democracy. Media and politics have strong association. Countries which are strong democracies always have free media. In the role of watchdog, the media can promote government transparency, accountability, and public scrutiny of decision makers in power, and by highlighting policy failures, maladministration by public officials, and corruption in the judiciary, and scandals in the corporate sector, media acts as a mirror. The role of media as public forum is vital. Media function as an agenda setter, providing information about urgent social problems. The free press can strengthen the public spheres by mediating between citizens and the state, facilitating debate about the major issues of the day and informing public about their leaders. While media organizations or professionals need politics and politicians as source for their news story, politicians on the other part need mass communication tool to convey their messages and promises to the people and create a public acceptance, especially in election times, as part of their communication campaigns. In democratic terms, the function of media can be summed up as addressing people, informing, and sometimes convincing them and providing them enough details to compare between the different political approaches, which will also help them to participate politics. Now, after this inauguration, our panel discussion will be held here, and different participants they will present their papers and what will be the output. It is very interesting for us. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम। कहते हैं खूबसूरत से एक पल का किस्सा बन जाता है, खूबसूरत से एक पल का किस्सा बन जाता है, जाने कब कौन जिंदगी का हिस्सा बन जाता है। थोड़ी तालियां तो हो सकती है। तो अब एक हमारे जो सैपलिंग्स हैं वो हम अनुरोध करेंगे हमारे वॉलंटियर्स को कि वो सैपलिंग हमारे मंच पे जो अतिथि हैं उनको वे प्रदान करें। I now request our Postgraduate Council Chairman, Professor Sabyasachi Patnaik, to address all of us. Sir is a man of information and communication technology, Professor of
Professor Ghulam Rahman. The professor is Merku, Professor K.V. Nagaraj, Sanjeev Manawat, Professor C.C. Koshi, and respected head of the department, Madam Arti, and all the dignitaries and my colleagues and the students. This is the International Media Conclave on media, politics and democracy. Before that, I should welcome you to this beautiful campus. उन लोग को रास्ते में लाने के लिए मीडिया has a greater role. Public politicians too. So, this particular conference, Conclave, is one of the important events which is certainly enlighten the minds of youths regarding the media, politics and democracy. So, I wish all the success of this conclave. Thank you very much.
That would lead to progressive change. So I will invite you in conclusion, evaluate the kind of democracy that you may have in your own country and see if it meets some of these. Alright? And so in this conclave, I want to thank you for organizing this very timely conclave on this very timely topic. And we need to be reflecting on these things in the Dept. Thank you. Bye.
Think more on issues pertaining to media, politics, and democracy. Thank you for joining and thank you for giving us new points to ponder about. And with this, I now request our keynote speaker, Professor K.V. Nagaraj, sir. K.V. Nagaraj, sir, has been former Pro-Vice Chancellor at South Central University. He is one of the most senior-most media educator and researcher in India. Sir has guided more than 30 PhD scholars and undertaken several research projects. Sir, I request you to kindly address all of this.
On my legs. Yes, thank you very much. Dear friends, I don't know how to address each one of them because everyone is known to me who is on the dais. Of course, on the other side also. Anyway, the topic that has been given to me, media, politics and democracy, I would like to share my views. The first thing I would like to tell you is that media, politics, they are invariably have a historical legacy together in India. Media's collaboration, I should say, with politics is an outcome of freedom struggle. And when we talk of media freedom, there is also something called as, aligned to it, the other aspect, media, that is political hypocrisy. Why I am using this word political hypocrisy is, there is a kind of a love and hate relationship between politicians and media persons. Media persons I have seen trying to find whatever benefits they could get from the politicians, and politicians eagerly waiting for, waiting to offer gratis to media persons, provided their coverage was favorable. Politicians extend support to media freedom in public, but in private, what happens is the other way. In fact, even their actions will be different. Historically speaking, it has happened both in the United States and India, considered to be two largest democracies. Thomas Jefferson made a statement, but some of his actions were, history speaks of the truth sometimes. Of course, history is written by historians the way they want, but still we find that some of his actions were not in favorable of press freedom. Similarly, in India, the same thing happened. The first Prime Minister of the country talked eloquently about media of the press freedom then, but unfortunately, the first amendment to the Indian Constitution was against the press freedom. Some of you know the history, I don't want to go into the details. Now, we have also heard about the power politics and media roles. The truth is, today it is not only media for profit, but politics is also for profit. Power politics is, people are not there simply to enjoy the public attention, but they want profit from doing power politics. So, what is happening in the process all over the country, all over the world rather, is there is a kind of degeneration in politics. Plato, long ago said, when city-states were there, he said democracy is only for a small number of people, not for 30 crore people or 140 crore people. you can understand the Greek city-states, how they were operating, how it was like. We also talk about our own experiments in democracy in the earlier days. But what is happening all over the world is, please, some of you youngsters, I would like to suggest read, Power Shift by Alvin Toffler, an applied sociologist who has, predicted that the 21st century will have two streams of politicians. One is, politicians coming from the corporate background. The corporate people will take over parliaments. Then the second one is criminalization of politics. See, today wherever you go, not only in India, elsewhere also, you will see, criminals trying to get into power politics. So this topic of media, politics and democracy is to be seen with a different view, with a different perspective together. We have been told by the people from Chanakya to many others, Western and Eastern scholars, that politics is the art of the possible. That is, do anything to gain power. See, do whatever you want to, right, wrong, nobody bothers. But what we have to know is, historically, both media and democracy are controlled by power elites. And hero worship is part of the game. You create a hero. There is a problem with the media. The media supports hero worship. Media creates celebrities and heroes. Of course, ladies may say heroines. Yes, they do all these things. And at some point of the time, the media will bring them down. That is what is happening. And please understand, Plato wanted a democracy by intellectuals. But today, we don't have intellectuals in parliament. Any parliament in the world, I am telling you, their crime is diminishing. Who are controlling parliament? Rules everywhere. I can tell you examples even from the democracies of the Western world. And media have become part of the political economy for the simple reason media ownership is now controlled by political parties also, not only corporates but political parties also. It means that politics has become a business for people both in the media and the corporate sector. What was supposed to be there when our forefathers wrote the Constitution, when our forefathers wanted the Indian democracy to be divine? See, the choice was community politics and communal politics. In fact, in India, the seeds of communal politics were sown by the British. When they divided the country, they deliberately did it so that this subcontinent would not have peace at all. It was a long-term plan by the British, and we succumbed to it. And unfortunately, everywhere, whether it is the US or India or the UK, there is a polarization of people in the public sphere. If you go to the West, you will see, the white people, the black people, the brown people. Racism is quite happening. And the other problem which we have got is political activism devoid of ideals and ideology. It is Today I don't see any ideology in politics. The only ideology is to make money. So, what kind of ideology we should have had is the question. Then the slow disappearance of political liberalism on the horizon. Liberalism is slowly disappearing. Then we also talk about media activism. I met some activists, media activists, and they are all devoted people. They are devoted to the cause. But whether the society of media consumers, if I use it wrongly, please excuse me, because some people hate the word media consumes, whether they are recognizing these people. And what is happening in the media field? Because of the political compulsions, media policies are also changing to suit the people in power. This is what is happening when the corporate ownership is taking over the media. And in the process, there is a neutralization of saner voices. So you understand how it is like. And media glorification of political violence has become the norm of the day. This is the most troubling aspect of media performance. You please see how it is happening. Violence as a means to achieve political power is endorsed by the media. This is something which we will have to, think about. And the social fabric of the society is also affecting the media. That is, there is an influence of the society on the media, not in the right way, but in the wrong way. And the language of politics, or politics of language. It has come into the media operations. Then think of the days when we had media, democracy, and popular movements. Today, we don't have the kind of popular movements we had in 1960s or even in 70s. See, with the entry of corporates, the first casualty was the labor movement. The labor movement is dead. Apart from that, the working class movement. Now, you can't call anybody as a person of working class in the real sense of the term. You have, contractual workers, or you can call them as coolies. We have cyber coolies. Similarly, we have coolies in the media sector also. It is unfortunate, but it has happened. And what about the discourses, public discourses of media? They are all one-sided, sometimes confusing. They don't offer any solutions to any problems. And political opportunism of the media has affected the entire fabric of the society. So, what is happening? Number one is depth of objectivity. There is no objectivity in journalism. It is all advocacy. So, advocacy has replaced objectivity. And you must understand that when we are talking about elections, just now someone spoke about the elections, Jean Badrila called election reports or opinion polls as obscene and vulgar. So we are enjoying obscenity and vulgarity by reporting elections always the other way, because there is no objectivity. we talk about. Then we have also talked about democratization of media. Professor just now mentioned. Yes, it's a question. You see, today, if you want to start a TV channel or a radio station or even a newspaper, how much capital you want, it is not easily calculable because we know how much money is required. And we have another area of social media which I am not going to talk much. And there is a differentiation of politics as principle and politics as practice in our world. How to give equal space for every group in democracy. The whole problem of media power and politics comes from the false glorification of media power. I tell you, don't have illusions about media power. They have also got limits to their power. So, what is to have something like mediacracy? Media plus democracy, mediacracy. It existed. Many of you are perhaps not aware, which I have seen in my own state in Karnataka in 1980s when Ramakrishna Hegde was the chief minister. The whole legislative assembly or council proceedings were dictated by journalists. I have walked in the corridors of power, I have observed everything. Questions were given by journalists and supplementary questions were also supplied by journalists to be asked. Can you imagine? And the policy decisions were influenced by journalists. Both all the political parties had their own, media friends, and they would run the government, they would run the administration, the legislature, the bureaucracy. The only thing was the judiciary was not easily amenable. Otherwise, it was mediocrity, media. Democracy by the people, of the people, people say, it was of the media, by the media, and most probably for the media. I don't like it. Why I don't like it? Because media should work in its place. It should not go beyond its dictates, mandate. But sometimes it happens. This is where I was talking about. My problem not comes from media or politics or by democracy. Demo is my problem. What is the problem? Today, people are anti themselves. People are against people. They are anti people. Why is it happening? Can't they understand what their role should be in a democracy? What kind of dirty politics they are engaged in? Today we have stood to such a low level, whether it is Biden or Trump, you just can't imagine what is happening. So, my problem in media, politics and democracy, focuses on people who are anti-people. Democracy is against democracy. Why is it so? If you have answers, please pass your answers to me. I will be the happiest person. Thank you very much.
I request Professor Ghulam Mehman to kindly deliver his address. Sir.
Thank you all. It's been a great opportunity to talk to you today. Here we have got my direct teacher, Professor Inauguration, under whom I did my PhD in Mysore University long back. So it is my opportunity to pay respect to him. Honorable Chair, distinguished guests, and a very cordial audience. I'm delighted that I could come to this university, University, and this is really a great opportunity for me to talk to you. Today's seminar is on media, politics, and democracy. Earlier, we have listened to the speakers regarding democracy, regarding role of media, and also the people and the consumers, how they behave and take part in the society. I should say, media is now for everybody. Anybody can have taste the media. Everybody can understand media, participate in media. But politics is limited to the politician. So people are not much interested in politics. Only politicians show interest to develop their points just for them, and they take people for their favor. Here, politicians have got limitations of participation, but not the people. People do have potentials and ability to participate in the media and to consume media as they like. And now, the media is also transformed in such a way that newspaper is almost an old pattern of media, where very different digitized media is coming in a new way with a new approach of life and also the future and the prospect that is fostering in such a way that media is very interesting and very much engaging of individuals' time. Everybody is using a mobile phone, and people are engaged most of their time with mobile. Maybe the specialized people who are engaged with their own activities, but whenever they get time, they are engaged in the mobile or internet. If we do not have internet for a while, we feel uncomfortable with this gadget, with this device. So this is the reality, that when we used to wait for morning newspaper, that is been changed with another mode of communication and a device. So life is being transformed from the ideal pattern of reading newspaper in a paper, and now it is being e-paper and all that. So these changes and this transformation is bound by the time, bound by the technology, bound by the development of the technology. And when we understand, when we talk about democracy, democracy is a simple account of 51% of the people who get the victory. So the rule by 51% on the 49%. So the majority's rule is democracy. So often media is reflecting or portraying the people the population in general by forgetting all sorts of deceptions of the society, or the society's real portrayal is sometimes very challenging by the media. Because sometimes we find media is reflecting the popular items, popular things, and agenda-based things. So the agenda-based content sometimes ignore the reality often. So when we talk about politics is done by 51% majority, I mean government is formed by majority, so 49% are deprived of the right. Similarly, sometimes media is also putting the population that way by reflecting the majority's decision. Many people may ask how much reality is shown by the media. We find reality is shown, but of course there are limitations that always media do not show the reality. Sometimes they show something special which is neither reality nor it should be the reality. Sometimes we find media engage people or their audience in such a way with just because of entertainment, just because of business, and just because of the exploitation of media in such a way that people become the audience, only the spectators. So sometimes we find media just cannot do the justice to the people. We understand media has got a specific role to play, although we are very much, we talk high about media's role, but when you see the business model of the media, this is very much partial, they reflect very much partial appearance of the society. So the society is reflected partially. So that's why the politics, the government, the people, all through are shown partially by media by their own choice. So that's why media is sometimes questionable whether they really reflect the reality or not. Anyway, I don't have much time to be given that otherwise this is a very big topic. You can talk hours together. Maybe we'll be here tomorrow also. So you'll got some opportunity to talk to you. And I understand the media has got enormous potential to reflect the society. And that's why you find the media is reflecting the society, the activities of the people, but media is very much partial to reflect the societal address. And when you see different newspapers from different companies reflect different things, the same stories is displayed in different ways. So that is the partial role that media is reflecting that we want to be. So thank you very much. Thank you, the organizers.
Now it's time to release the book of abstracts for this international media conclave that has been published. I request our volunteers. I also request the organizing secretary, Dr. Rajesh Naik, to join in the release of book of abstract. I request member of organizing committee, Moti Pankam Madam, to also come over the day. It has articles and research papers on radio production. मेरा सौभाग्य है कि इस जर्नल के साथ मैं भी जुड़ी हुई हूँ। साथ मैं आमंत्रित करूंगी हमारे जो मीडिया एजुकेटर हैं, जो बड़े पॉपुलर मीडिया एजुकेटर हैं इस देश के, प्रोफेसर संजीव भानावत, तो वो मेरे गुरु भी हैं। He has been awarded Uttar Pradesh Hindi Sansthan by Uttar Pradesh Hindi Sansthan. He has been awarded by Rajasthan Sahitya Academy for his books. He is also receiver of PRCI Hall of Fame Award. Prolific author, written and edited over 35 books. A regular speaker and guest on All India Radio and Doordarshan. और इसी के साथ ही कम्युनिकेशन टुडे के एडिटर पब्लिशर, और इसी कम्युनिकेशन टुडे के बैनर के तले एक वेबिनार सीरीज सर ने शुरू की, जिसका 115th सेमिनार वेबिनार का आयोजन हाल ही में हुआ। तो मैं इसी के साथ आमंत्रित करूंगी प्रोफेसर भानावत को भी आए और हम सभी को संबोधित करें। सर
2 दिवसीय इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मीडिया कॉन्क्लेव के मंत्रस्थ विशिष्ट अतिथि का जो मंच पे यहाँ बैठे हैं उनसे बहुत पुराना आत्मीय संबंध है, और भाई प्रोफेसर रहमान जी मुझे यदि याद हो, और उसी कॉन्फ्रेंस में प्रोफेसर नागराज भी थे। 96 की बात है, जब दक्षिण एशियाई मीडिया शिक्षकों का एक सम्मेलन एक अमेरिकन यूनिवर्सिटी ने कोलंबो में आयोजित किया था, तब मुझे आप दोनों वरिष्ठ मीडिया विशेषज्ञों का सानिध्य मिला था। और वहां जब चर्चा हो रही थी तब एक प्रसंग आया था कि देश में मीडिया जर्नल्स का अभाव है। तब मैंने ये कहा था कि जब मैं वापस जयपुर पहुंचूंगा, हिंदुस्तान पहुंचूंगा, तो कोशिश करूंगा कि जर्नल प्रकाशित कर पाए। तो कम्युनिकेशन टुडे का जो बीज अंकुरित हुआ था प्रकाशन करने का, वो उस कॉन्फ्रेंस में हुआ था। और मेरे लिए इससे बड़ा और क्या भावुक क्षण हो सकता है कि रहमान जी जैसे सीनियर मीडिया एजुकेटर, वेबिनार में भी हमने आपको आपका आमंत्रित किया था, ऑनलाइन भी आप जुड़े थे, तब से आप तक किसी भी रूप में आपसे संवाद होता रहा। तो अफसर नागराज साहब के साथ देश में जाने कितने अकादमिक मंचों पर मुझे उनका स्नेह और मार्गदर्शन मिलता रहा। आप दोनों के प्रति मैं अपना आभार प्रकट करता हूँ कि आपने इस तरह का प्रोत्साहन मुझे समय से कर दिया। सभागार में जितने मीडिया शिक्षक हैं उनके साथ अलग अलग कैपेसिटी में संबंध रहा, किसी के सिलेक्शन कमेटी में, किसी के रिसर्चर के रूप में, कोई रिफ्रेशर कोर्स का नाम होगा 10 मिनट कर उसी में निकल जाएंगे। लेकिन एक अच्छा लगा, एक पारिवारिक माहौल में आकर के हम एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर यह चर्चा कर रहे हैं। विषय पर हालांकि हमारे दोनों जो विशिष्ट वक्ता थे उन्होंने बात कही है, लेकिन उस बात को शुरू करने के पहले मैं 1-2 बातें करना चाहूंगा। जब निमंत्रण मिला मुझे इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आने का, और जब मैंने देखा फकीर मोहन यूनिवर्सिटी, तो एक जिज्ञासा हुई कि फकीर मोहन है कौन जिनके नाम से ये यूनिवर्सिटी बनी। तो मैंने कोशिश की जो भी रेफरेंसेस से देखने की, उनके जीवन चरित्र को पढ़ करके मुझे लगा वो एक ऐसी शख्सियत थी जिसने उन आर्थिक संघर्षों से जूझते हुए, देखिए जहां विल पावर होती है वहां शायद कोई भी संकल्प है वो पूरा न हो ऐसा नहीं होता है। अल्प आयु में ही माता पिता का देहांत हो गया। शुरू का नाम यदि मुझे सही याद है ब्रिजमोहन था, और उस फकीर, उस उपेक्षित वर्ग के प्रति अपनी आस्था और विश्वास को प्रकट करने के लिए उनकी दादी ने उनका नाम फकीर मोहन रख दिया। किस माहौल में वो पले बढ़े, और उड़िया भाषा की समृद्धि के लिए, उड़िया भाषा को प्रतिष्ठित करने के लिए उस व्यक्ति ने अपने पूरे जीवन को बलिदान कर दिया। कौन सी विधा में नहीं लिखा, कहानी, उपन्यास, और तो जो रेफरेंसेस मेरे पास है आप सब लोग शायद मेरे से ज्यादा जानते होंगे, फिल्में बनी उस पर, टीवी सीरियल्स बने उनकी कहानियों के ऊपर। जो जब उनका मैंने चरित्र पढ़ा, उनके कंटेंट पढ़े, तो मुझे लगा कि शायद वो हिंदी के प्रेमचंद है। प्रेमचंद ने भी आजादी से पहले यही सब कुछ किया था। देश की उस उपेक्षित दलित जनता के अधिकारों के प्रति, उनकी उस पूरे जीवन के परिवेश के प्रति जिस तरह से प्रेमचंद ने उस काल में लिखा, शायद फकीर मोहन ने भी, मुझे पता नहीं ये दोनों व्यक्तित्व अपने जीवन काल में कहीं मिले या न मिले, क्योंकि लगभग 40 साल का समय मैंने चेक किया उनकी डेट ऑफ बर्थ। फकीर मोहन जी का तो जन्म हुआ था 13 जनवरी 1843 को, और प्रेमचंद का जन्म हुआ 1880 को, और फकीर मोहन जी की मृत्यु 1918 में होती है, 1936 में प्रेमचंद की। तो लगभग 40 वर्ष का समय ये दोनों कवि, लेखक, साहित्यकार, पत्रकार, प्रेमचंद भी पत्रकार थे, हंस निकाला उन्होंने, और फकीर मोहन भी पत्रकार थे। पहला प्रेस स्थापित करने का क्रेडिट उनको जाता है। 2 पत्रिकाएं उन्होंने निकाली। मुझे लगता है कि ये देश ऐसे ही युग द्रष्टा विद्वानों से भरा हुआ है, और इसी कारण से शायद हमने उस आजादी की लड़ाई को, जिसकी बात अभी प्रोफेसर नागराज कर रहे थे, कि हमारे यहाँ जो राजनीति है, मीडिया है, वो औपनिवेशिक काल का जन्म है। एक अंग्रेजी जो था जिसने इस देश में पत्रकारिता की शुरुआत की 29 जनवरी 1780 को, जेम्स ऑगस्टस सिंह की। क्यों याद कर रहे हैं उसको? इसलिए याद कर रहे हैं कि उसने उस पहले अखबार के माध्यम से अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता की जो लड़ाई लड़ी थी, उसी की रोशनी में इस देश की पत्रकारिता ने सांस लेना शुरू किया, और वो वयस्क हुई और ऊंचाइयों पर पहुंची। उस समय की पत्रकारिता ये नहीं थी गांधी ने ये कहा, तिलक ने ये कहा, फलाना ने ये कहा। उस समय की पत्रकारिता शब्दों की साधना थी। जैसा स्मृति ने भी कहा, चाहिए एक संपादक, वेतन हर संपादक में 1 गिलास ठंडा पानी, 2 सूखी रोटियां, 10 वर्ष की जेल। ये संपादक का पारितोषिक मिलता था। और आज वीआईपी विजिट्स, प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ, प्रेसिडेंट के साथ विदेशी ट्रिप पर, उस संपादकीय संस्था का जिस तेजी से अवमूल्यन हुआ है, जो बात अभी कही गई कि तीनों संस्थाओं का अवमूल्यन हो रहा है, तो ये जो अवमूल्यन हो रहा है, अब संपादक के नाम और कोई परीक्षा नहीं लेना चाहता, देश भर में जाने का मौका मिलता है, विद्यार्थियों से इंटरेक्ट करने का मौका मिलता है। अखबार के संपादक के नाम से हम लोग परिचित नहीं है, और संपादकीय पृष्ठ पर अनेक अखबारों में लिखते हैं वो कि ये संपादकीय है। तो वो जो संपादकीय की जो आत्मा है, वो धीरे धीरे लुप्त होती चली जा रही है। जब हम आपकी उम्र के थे, तब जब ऐसे सोसाइटी में जाते थे, तब कहते थे कि आज जनसत्ता में प्रभात जोशी ने ये लिखा, नवभारत टाइम्स में राजेंद्र माथुर ने ये लिखा। जब राजेंद्र माथुर के साथ मंच पर बैठने का मौका मिला मुझे अपने विभाग में, तो एक किस तरह के रोमांच की अनुभूति मैं महसूस करता हूँ। निखिल चक्रवर्ती जब हमारे डिपार्टमेंट में आए, जिनके लिए कहते हैं कि पंडित नेहरू समय लेकर के मिलते थे, जब उनके साथ बैठे तो मैंने शुरू के वक्तव्य में यही कहा, हम अगली पीढ़ी को कहेंगे हम निखिल दा के साथ बैठे थे। उस तरह के जो संपादकीय व्यक्तित्व थे धीरे धीरे दुर्लभ होते जा रहे हैं। वो जो संपादकीय नेतृत्व नहीं मिल रहा है, किस तरह के भाषा के संस्कार हो रहे हैं, किस तरह का कंटेंट आ रहा है, तो ये जो अवमूल्यन हुआ है, जब हम कहते हैं ना कि मिशन से प्रोफेशन बनी पत्रकारिता, और क्षमा कीजिएगा मुझे जो पत्रकार मित्र हैं, प्रोफेशन से कमीशन की ओर बढ़ने लगे। पेड न्यूज, आपका पड़ोसी राज्य महाराष्ट्र, वहीं से शुरुआत हुई थी जब भी साईनाथ ने इसको एक्सपोज किया। किस तरह से राजनीति में टारगेट दिए गए, अखबारों ने टारगेट दिए कि इलेक्शन टाइम में इतने करोड़ रुपए आप इकट्ठे करेंगे। अखबारों का नाम मैं नहीं ले रहा हूं, वो सब गूगल पे मिल जाएगा। बाकायदा रेस्पॉन्सिबल कमेटीज बने, उसको लेकर भी कई विवाद होते रहे, और उन टारगेट्स को पूरा किया। तो जिस तरह से आप बात करते हैं उस नेक्सस की, जिसकी विस्तार से कल के सत्र में चर्चा करेंगे, तो किस तरह से, चूंकि राजनेता और मीडिया, इनका तो एक बहुत ही गहरा रिश्ता है, क्योंकि आपको अपनी पब्लिक तक, वोटर तक उन्हीं के माध्यम से पहुंचना है। तो ये बेरंग से जो हमारा मीडिया था, जो लगभग 200 साल का हो गया, तो बेरंग से रंगीन होता जा रहा है। एक मीडिया से मल्टीमीडिया के दौर में पहुंच गया, डिजिटल मीडिया के दौर में आप पहुंच गए हैं, स्थानीय से राष्ट्रीय, राष्ट्रीय से ग्लोबल, उस दौर में हम आ गए हैं। और आपके एक क्लिक के ऊपर आप सारा यूट्यूब पे लाइव कर रहे हो। अपनी भाषा प्रतीकों को समझने वाला व्यक्ति दुनिया के किसी कोने में बैठा है, भौगोलिक दुनिया हमने तोड़ दी। तो आज ये जो संवाद का संदर्भ है, लेकिन सवाल वही है कि क्या आजादी से पहले जो हमारे कम्युनिकेटर्स थे, उन्होंने शब्दों के माध्यम से जो तपस्या की, जिस तरह से जन चेतना की, हमारे दोनों स्पीकर्स ने कहा जागरूकता, अवेयरनेस, क्या हम इन विचारों के माध्यम से, अपने लेखन के माध्यम से वो जागरूकता लेकर के आ पा रहे हैं? आजादी का हमने अमृत महोत्सव मनाया। कई बार मैं सोचता हूं 75 साल बाद भी जब सरकारी माध्यमों के ऊपर यह विज्ञापन आता है कि खाना खाने से पहले हाथों को धोइए, अर्थात सूचना का कितना बड़ा गैप है हमारा। अभी पूरा हमारे टॉयलेट बनाने की स्कीम चल रही है, मतलब हमें इस बात का होश नहीं है 75 साल होने के बावजूद कि हमें मिनिमम जो सिविक सेंस है वो क्या है। शहर से आप 10-15 किलोमीटर आगे जाइए, मैं तो बहुत सारी वर्कशॉप्स की, अच्छा लगा कि यूनिसेफ के साथ आपने कोलैबोरेट किया है डेवलपमेंट जर्नलिज्म पर। जयपुर में समिति ने कई सेमिनार में हमारे पार्टिसिपेट किया। नागराज जी ने तो पूरा हमारा एक उसका पेपर तैयार किया था उस कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से। हमने पीआरओस को ट्रेन किया, हमने जर्नलिस्ट को ट्रेन किया, हमने मीडिया टीचर्स को ट्रेन किया। जब उनको हम फील्ड ट्रिप पे लेके जाते थे जयपुर से 20 किलोमीटर दूर, विकास की हालत वहां देखते थे। तो ये जो स्थिति आ गई है, क्रिमिनलाइजेशन की बात की आपने, अपराधीकरण राजनीति की, तो कल और विस्तार से बात करूंगा। लेकिन मुझे लगता है जब हम पढ़ते थे, जब शुरुआत की पढ़ाने की, तब हम खबरें पढ़ते थे कि बूथ कैप्चर कर लिए गए, बूथ कैप्चर करते थे उस समय। और कौन करते थे? आप सोच सकते हैं कि राजनीति की अपने हितों की साधना के लिए नरेंद्र सिंह का एक बहुत पॉपुलर आंखों देखी सीरियल आता था दूरदर्शन पे, उसमें उन्होंने बाकायदा बताया कि कुछ राज्यों में कैसे बूथ लूटे गए, वोटिंग बूथ जहां मतपत्र डालता है, और सील लगा लगा के डाल दिए गए। चुनाव परिणाम क्या होंगे अभी आपने देखा, चंडीगढ़ की घटना, किस तरह से उसको ट्विस्ट करने की कोशिश की। ये थैंक्स टू अवर जुडिशरी कि उन्होंने इसमें कुछ कंट्रोल किया। अब उन लोगों ने सोचा जो इस तरह के तत्व थे, मसल्स पावर वाले, कि हम दूसरे के लिए क्यों काम करें, हम खुद ही संसद में, विधानसभा में पहुंच जाते हैं। वही संकेत जिसकी और अभी आपने किया कि अपराधीकरण, आप रिपोर्ट उठा के देखिए आज कितनी एजेंसीज काम कर रही है आपके यहाँ ट्रांसपेरेंसी को लेकर के, और बाकायदा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये रूलिंग दी है कि आपको अपना जो इलेक्शन का भरते हैं एफिडेविट, आप उसमें बाकायदा बताइए कितने केसेस आपके खिलाफ है। जब मेरी बिटिया पहली बार वोट देने के लिए आई जयपुर में, तो मैंने कहा भाई जिसको चाहो वोट दे दो, मैं ये नहीं कहना चाहता इसको। तो उसने जब देखा गूगल पे जाकर के कि पापा इसमें तो जितने भी कैंडिडेट्स हैं सबके किसी के खिलाफ 70 केस 80 केस है। अब आप सोचिए उस 18-20 साल के उस नौजवान के मन पे क्या गुजरती होगी, हम कैसा प्रतिनिधि चुन रहे हैं, हमारा किस तरह की भाषा का प्रयोग संसद में किया जा रहा है। आप उठा के देखिए, मुझे पता नहीं आप सारे मीडिया के विद्यार्थी हैं, आपने वो पार्लियामेंट का एक प्रकाशन निकलता है अनपार्लियामेंट्री एक्सप्रेशंस, 3 एडिशन तो मेरे पास पड़े हुए हैं, उसको यदि आप पढ़ लें तो आपको मालूम पड़ेगा किस तरह की मानसिकता उनकी है जो हमारे भाग्य विधाता है, जो कानून बनाते हैं। कितने सांसद विधायक संसद में बैठ करके इन गंभीर बहस में चर्चा करते हैं, और कितने मीडिया कर्मी उस गंभीर बहस को रिपोर्ट करते हैं। हंगामे फ्रंट पेज पर 4-4 कॉलम में छपेंगे। गंभीर बहस, हम किस तरह की डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यूज को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। पहली बार बर्क ने 4th स्टेट की बात की थी, जब संसद में बहस हो रही थी, उन्होंने कहा 3 स्टेट हमारे यहां पर है, 4थी स्टेट गायब है। 4थी स्टेट मीडिया, कार्यपालिका, न्यायपालिका, विधायिका और खबरपालिका, जिसको आप प्रेस कहते हैं। ये 4थी सत्ता जिसको आप वॉचडॉग कहते हैं। वॉचडॉग प्रहरी कुत्ता, कुत्ता तो नहीं है प्रेस। भाव यह है कि जिस तरह से कुत्ता समाज की रक्षा करता है, अपने मालिक की रक्षा करता है, वैसे ही प्रेस हमारे हितों की रक्षा करने के लिए आ गया है। मैं ये कतई नहीं कह रहा हूं कि पूरा प्रेस बिक गया है या पूरा प्रेस कहीं निगेटिव उसमें चला गया। अभी भी है ऐसे जुनून जिज्ञासा वाले पत्रकार जिन्होंने अपने जीवन का बलिदान देकर के अपने उद्देश्यों और लक्ष्यों की प्राप्ति की है। और इसको पढ़ना हो, हर साल जो एमनेस्टी इंटरनेशनल जैसी संस्थाएं हैं उनकी रिपोर्ट पढ़ लीजिए। दुनिया भर के कितने पत्रकारों ने, अभी जो यूक्रेन वॉर हो रही है, कितने पत्रकारों ने रिपोर्टिंग करते करते अपने जान पर खेल गए। ऐसे बहुत सारे उदाहरण हैं। पुलित्जर पुरस्कार जिनको मिलते हैं उनको देखिए आप, किस तरह से उन्होंने, चाहे वो फोटोग्राफी के क्षेत्र में है, रिपोर्टिंग के क्षेत्र में है, तो काम हो रहा है, उसका परिणाम भुगतते हैं। कुछ तो इस तरह से आवाज बढ़े। आज भी ऐसे अखबार है। समस्या यही है कि आपने विषय इतना सेंसिटिव रखा है कि कई बार एक भय लगता है कि आप और हम परेशान में नहीं पड़ जाए, तो बात इस तरह से कह दी जाए। और ये भी मैं आज की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं। सुबह बता रहे थे नागराज साहब जब क्लास में पढ़ा रहे थे, सीबीआई वाला आ गया इनके पास। उस दौर में जब देश में आपातकाल लगा हुआ था, जब ये कहा गया कि प्रेस को झुकना चाहिए, प्रेस रहने लगी। सरकारें कोई भी हो, सत्ता हमेशा अंकुश करेगी। आपको आज की बात कर रहे हैं जेम्स प्रोफेसर सिंह की, जिसकी कॉपियां अंग्रेज सरकार खरीदती थी। जब उसने न्यायपालिका, कार्यपालिका, विधायिका को नहीं छोड़ा, क्या होगा? जेल डाल दिया गया उसको। समझौता नहीं किया, मेरे 4 बच्चे भूख से मरने वाले हैं, वायसराय को कहा उन्होंने, चाहे तो बचा जाए, माफी नहीं मांगी। ऐसे भी स्वतंत्र चेता पत्रकार थे। तो कहने का मतलब यह है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरा का पूरा जो हमारा परिवेश है वो ऐसे ही लोगों से भरा हुआ है। वो चंद मुट्ठी भर जो है, कुछ रीढ़ वाले पत्रकार, कम्युनिकेटर, संपादक, आज उन्हीं के बल पर हम उस सामाजिक चेतना की बात करते हैं, उन सामाजिक विकृतियों के खिलाफ लड़ने की बात करते हैं, राजनीतिक विसंगतियों के खिलाफ लड़ने की बात करते हैं, सामाजिक विद्रुपताओं पर कहीं कटाक्ष करते हैं। है ऐसे पत्रकार लेखक। सवाल यह है कि क्या आप उनके समर्थन में, जब एक उंगली हम सामने करते हैं, 3 उंगली हमारी और भी है, क्या आप इस प्रकार के स्वतंत्र चेता पत्रकारों के हितों के साथ लड़ने के लिए खड़े हो सकते हैं? क्या कारण है कि जो हमारा प्रशासन है, सड़कें खराब है, आप रोड टैक्स देते हैं, आपका स्कूटर गाड़ी किस तरह से वहां 6 महीने के अंदर खराब हो जाता है या एक्सीडेंट हो जाता है, जब आप इस तरह से मरने की खबर पढ़ते हैं, सवेरे की चाय का स्वाद तक खराब नहीं होता और आप सोचेंगे कि वो मीडिया करके दुनिया बदल देगा, आपको साथ आना पड़ेगा। खबर लहरिया, मुझे पता नहीं आप में से कितने मित्रों ने नाम सुना है, अभी वो ऑस्कर में इनकी फिल्म भी गई थी, तो हालांकि वो मेरी तो बात हुई खबर लहरिया में जो संवाद की टीम है, मैंने उनको आमंत्रित किया था और एक आर्टिकल मैंने कम्युनिकेशन टुडे में छापा है उनका। तो खबर लहरिया ने बाकायदा कुछ सामान्य साक्षर महिलाओं ने यह प्रयोग किया बुंदेलखंड एरिया में, और आप देखिए अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर पहचान कर रही है। उस क्षेत्र की महिलाओं के जीवन में परिवर्तन के लिए कितना बड़ा योगदान था। आज भी मीडिया में इतनी ताकत है, आज भी डिजिटल मीडिया में बहुत लोग विरोध करते हैं, लेकिन मेरा यह मानना है जब जब नई तकनीक आएगी तब तक इस तरह के आंदोलन और इस तरह का विरोध होगा। हम छोटे थे तब डिबेट होती थी विज्ञान वरदान है या अभिशाप है। टेलीविजन ने हमारी युवा पीढ़ी को भ्रष्ट कर दिया है, एफएम की भाषा ने बर्बाद, ये विषय होते थे और आज ये सारे विषय डिजिटल मीडिया पर आ गए। लेकिन मुझे लगता है सही अर्थों में कहीं लोकतंत्र है अभी विचारों का, वो डिजिटल मीडिया पर है। आप निःशुल्क अपनी बात कह सकने के लिए सक्षम है, ऐसे फोरम आपके पास है जहां आप प्रधानमंत्री राष्ट्रपति को क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं, उनके ट्विटर हैंडल पर सवाल पूछ सकते हैं। बहुत सारे तरीके आपके पास है। किसी जमाने में होता होगा जब पीएम को इंटरव्यू करना है तो 10 सवाल भेजने पड़ते होंगे, आप सीधे बात कर सकते हैं, उनके स्पॉन्सर्ड इंटरव्यूज पर आप अपनी टिप्पणी कर सकते हैं और एक बहस चल सकती है। ये बहस का मंच दिया है, ये आपके ऊपर है कि आप इसका उपयोग कितने प्रभावी ढंग से कर सकते हैं। आज की सरकार को जो परेशानी होती है, एक कई लोगों का अनुभव है, ट्वीट करते हैं और एजेंसी सक्रिय हो जाती है। ये खतरे हैं, सड़क पे चलते हैं, दुर्घटना की आशंकाएं, डिजिटल मीडिया में भी ये आशंकाएं हैं, लेकिन आप पीछे नहीं लौट सकते। तकनीक तेजी से आपके जीवन में प्रवेश कर रही है, आपको इसी में जीना पड़ेगा। कई बार तो मुझे पीड़ा होती है कि काश 20 साल बाद इस दुनिया में आए होते तो वो कुछ देखते जो शायद हम नहीं देख पाएंगे, जिस तेजी से तकनीक बदल रही है। लेकिन फिर संतोष होता है कि 20 साल पहले जो हमने देखा, नई पीढ़ी को नहीं पता कैसे टेलीफोन की लाइन लगती थी, कैसे स्कूटर बुकिंग के लिए पुलिस की लाठियां खानी पड़ती थी। आप से एक फोन करोगे 10 कंपनी वाले आपके पास आते हैं। तो कहने का मतलब यह है कि मीडिया, डेमोक्रेसी और पॉलिटिक्स, इन तीनों का गहरा संबंध है, अटूट हिस्से हैं, इनको आप जीवन से अलग नहीं कर सकते। अब कैसे ये संस्थाएं दायित्वपूर्ण ढंग से काम करें, एक मतदाता के रूप में, जागरूक नागरिक के रूप में, ये कमान आपके हाथ में होनी चाहिए ताकि आप आने वाला जो समय है उसको बेहतर बनाने की दिशा में कुछ अपना रचनात्मक योगदान दे सके। समय की सीमाओं का अतिक्रमण किया हो, क्षमा चाहता हूं। आपने मुझे समय दिया, मेरी बात को धैर्य से सुना, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
बहुत धन्यवाद सर। It's always a delight to listen to you, and I always feel that you should go on and on so beautifully. You keep your views and thoughts before all of us. And sir, आपने कहा आप 20 साल बाद आते तो ऐसा आपको महसूस होता है। मुझे कई बार लगता है कि मैं 20 साल पहले आती तो अच्छा होता, बिकॉज जो ठहराव था तकनीक के इस विकास ने एक बहुत एक उथल-पुथल सा करके रख दिया है हमारे जीवन को। जैसे कई बार हम सोचते हैं कि मोबाइल ने हमारे दोस्त छीन लिए और मोबाइल ने हमारी जो घर की रसोई है, कई बार तो वो क्योंकि स्विगी एंड जोमेटो हैज टेकन प्लेस ऑफ आवर रसोई घर, एंड मेनी थिंग्स दैट मोबाइल फोन हैज टेकन अवे, द डिजिटल मीडिया हैज टेकन अवे. Anyways, so many points to think over and so many aspects to this topic that we have, media, politics and democracy. Thank you once again, sir. With this, I would request Professor Cecile Basu, sir, to address all of us. But before that, sir has been former head Department of Mass Communication, Banaras in the University, Fulbright scholar, worked in areas of health, communication, and cinema. Several books to his credit, and we are so honored and glad that you are gracing this international conference, sir. Please.
We put media as if it is the guardian for democracy. But if we look deeper into it as to what media is actually, it's a platform owned by the powerful people in the society, the money, politically and economically powerful people, they are the owners. So that ownership matters. The philosophy, the political leanings of the owners would percolate directly or indirectly into the product that we construct in various media platforms, whether we like it or not. Now, it is similar to something called soap, furniture, all the things that we sell. But people would be asking, then what is the difference between media product and soap, clothing, and other things? The main difference is the public good. See, the media exists because it has a duty to do public good. I mean, we were talking about our old age. Now you can see that I am aged. I grew up in Calcutta, and we used to wait for statesmen every day, particularly of Wednesday, because Amrita Ganguly's column would be coming on that day, and we would read that one. We not only learn the language, but we also learn as to how to analyze things and get a perspective. So when I say public good, how do you practice public good? Practice public good by presenting the fact, various facets of the fact, and various multiple viewpoints. That's the duty, that's how you do public good. Is it being done? You know now how it is, where the tilt is. What are the things that are being suppressed and what are the things that are being highlighted. Therefore, the media would safeguard democracy is not given. It has to be, cultivated. See, long time back, Herbert Anschul wrote a book, Agents of Power. And he very clearly, through his analysis, said that media are the agents of power. Wherever the power is, media would be there. Whose photograph do you see every day in the newspaper? Whose news you hear? What names you hear? You hear all those powerful people in the society, isn't it? And therefore, the platform that we use to communicate, we communicate only one-sided view. So public good is almost missing, and that is to be cultivated and brought back to our society. So media basically would side always with the powerful. Okay? And how do you negate that one? You negate by presenting different viewpoints, different facts, different facets of fact, different analysis, either for or against certain kind of issues. We also talk about that our institutions of democracy or safeguarding democracy, not only media but also the other institutions like court of law. And recently I attended a seminar that was held in Supreme Court, and it's called Live Law, and if you go to YouTube you can see all the lectures there. And I'm just quoting some eminent speakers there. There was one justice retired, Joseph Kurian, and he pointed out that he said very clearly the fourth pillar of democracy has failed the country, the constitution, very clearly. He also pointed out that Article 21 of life and liberty are not being protected or highlighted or being cultivated in the courts itself. The perception, they say, the perception that our courts are being remote controlled is very much evident. It's among people. And how did they say that? That there is a perception, the bench, the constitution of the bench, the bench that would be hearing the cases the moment you see that one, you can predict as to what will be the outcome. And if some of you must be knowing Umar Khalid, after 13 adjournment, the lawyer went and withdrew the bail application because the bench already given them the impression that the outcome would be negative. So if that is so, then we can see that one of the institutions that would safeguard democracy in our country is being, the standard is being lowered, is being weakened because of this. Bench, the roster, you know how it is, as the cases would come, it is assigned to certain benches, a group of lawyers to whom that would be assigned to hear. Now that roster is something that is of controversy recently, because the Chief Justice, it is said that he assigns, and therefore there are certain kind of cases that would go to a particular bench. That means you can predict the outcome. Thereby, it has weakened our courts. So not only media, but our courts are being also very much weakening our democracy. Justice Laku, you know Madan Laku, he has given an example of two bail applications. One bail application and the other one bail was granted. Arnab Goswami, the day the case came, that day itself, the bench ensured that it would be heard on the same day so that he could get the bail. Okay? Whereas the other one, Sai Baba, if you know, that he was granted bail, but it was stayed by the court. And Justice Rekha Sharma also talked about Article 21, which talks about the life and liberty of the citizens, questioned many of the judgment that has come. Now, we can say that media that we talk of is an institution that we expect so much from it, has weakened itself. It is no more doing the public good that it is supposed to do, but it can be rejuvenated provided the ownership pattern changes. There was a time when I used to spend my whole weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday, reading mainstream. You know, Friday evening it would come out in Delhi, and then you read that on Saturday and Sunday. You are prepared, you energize yourself for the week ahead. I don't think that the current generation, the students, would be waiting for such papers to come out, or even YouTube channels to come out, so that you will spend some time with it, to rejuvenate yourself, to alert your faculties that something is going wrong or something is going right. Now, as I was preparing for the seminar, or at least trying to organize my thought, I was thinking whether this animal called democracy, whether we have imported this one from abroad, from the Western countries, and trying to implant it here or not. And since I am from Banaras and I spent a lot of time there and started reading about Buddhism and Buddha, because he started his life, we may say after enlightenment, he went to Sarnath and started his work. So therefore I was curious to know whether Buddha had something to say about democracy, and surely it is. You know, Bimbisara was killed by his son Ajatashatru. And in reference to that, I found that there was a time, or during Buddha's time, that is 5th, 6th century BC, there were Mahajanapadas, there were enclaves, there were not kingdom as such, where people would rule. How they would rule? they would have their, the assemblies where in thousands people would gather and they would discuss and they would, advise the ruler to take certain kinds of decisions. And a reference to that is in Bengal, in 7th century, the Palas, for 400 years or so, Palas ruled. And the first Pala king, Gopala, was an ordinary person and he was elected king. So that was something in practice at that time. And how would they do? They would decide together, they would sit together and would take decision as to what sort of steps the ruler must take. So the king, as title, was given to someone who was elected and not someone got it hereditary. So once a ruler was elected, then he could have his son and his son, but then that would not go very far. The new king would be elected. So there was a kind of the seeds of democracy, as we talk of today, was there, and it was being practiced. So that is what I found. And when as I referred to, Ajatashatru wanted to annex the enclave of Lichavis. Lichavis were tribal people, and they had their sabha, or they had their assembly, and Ajatashatru wanted to annex that kingdom. So what he did, he sent his chief minister Vasakara to Gautama Buddha, saying that whether he would approve annexing of that enclave. And when he came and wanted to meet Gautama, Ananda was called, his dearest disciple, and then they said that the king has sent me to you and he wants to annex the enclave. And Buddha, in front of Ananda, puts these 7 issues to him. The first one is that they were called Vajis, Vajians. So Buddha asked, the Vajians hold regular assemblies to decide on their affairs. Isn't it, Ananda? And Ananda answers in affirmative. Then he says, they discuss, agree and disagree in harmony. Isn't it, Ananda? And he said, yes. Vajians do not authorize what has not been authorized. Do not abolish what has been authorized and follow what has been there as ancient tradition. Isn't it, Ananda? And Ananda answers in affirmative. They honor, respect, revere and salute the elders among them and consider worth listening to them. Isn't it, Ananda? And he says, yes. They do not abduct others' wives and do not forcefully compel them to live with other men. Isn't it, Ananda? And Ananda answers in affirmation. They honor, respect, revere and salute their shrines at home and abroad. Isn't it? And he answers. The last one that he says, they continue to have proper safety provisions for arhats. Arhats are those people who are practicing to become Buddha, those who have got the elements in them, so that they can come and dwell among us, isn't it? And Buddha says at the end, so long the Vajjayans, that means the people in that enclave, practice all these 7 principles, they will not decline, they will grow and live in harmony. And later on, Buddha, for his sanghas, also implement all these 7 points, so that there will be democracy, there will be consultation, and there will be growth and rule by people. So democracy has been there since 2,500 years or back. So it is not something that we got from the West, but it is us. What has happened is that we have forgotten that it has been there and we do not practice. So if we want to have democracy and if we want to have media, then we need to bring about a change in the culture, the way we conduct our affairs. Affairs in our families, affairs in our institutions, affairs in our classroom, and affairs in all other fora. The people are to be listened to, things are to be discussed only then. If the democracy is there, all pervading in a society, then media would naturally be a democratic media.
Sir, indeed, you gave us so many important points to think over, and you brought in so many anecdotes and so many lines from the pages of history. So with a positive note that things are going to get better and we are going to find out solutions for the problems that we have in hand. There are two lines that I want to reiterate that Sri Krishna had said. तो श्री कृष्ण ने साफ कहा है, श्री कृष्ण ने साफ कहा है कि बस कर्म तुम्हारा कल होगा। श्री कृष्ण ने साफ कहा है कि बस कर्म तुम्हारा कल होगा, और कर्म में अगर सच्चाई है तो कर्म कहाँ निष्फल होगा। हर संकट का हल होगा, वो आज नहीं तो कल होगा। तो इसी विश्वास के साथ मैं अब आमंत्रित करती हूँ डॉक्टर राजेश नाइक जो कि ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी है इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के, में आए और वोट ऑफ थैंक्स दें।
So it's an honor and privilege to offer a formal vote of thanks on the occasion of this inaugural function for the International Media Conclave on Media, Politics and Democracy. First of all, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Santosh Kumar Tripathi, who has been actually behind this conclave and who initiated the process. And this conclave, the idea of this conclave was actually it was being conceived by our Vice Chancellor itself, even though because of some urgent necessities he has to go somewhere else, and hopefully he will be joining soon with us. And we express our gratitude to our Vice Chancellor and heartfelt thanks for his support throughout this process. And we also express our thanks and gratitude towards the invited guests, particularly Professor Ghulam Rahman, who has been who has joined us from Bangladesh as a resource person, and Professor K.B. Nagraj, senior professor, and who happens to be my PhD supervisor when I was doing my PhD in Assam University, and also Professor Sanjeev Banavat sir for his energetic lecture as always. Prior to that also I have listened to Professor Banavat and also Professor C.C. Basu, and with whom we have been associated with so many other activities, academic and activities. And we also I express my gratitude towards our convener, our HOD, and Dr. Bharatiwala Patnaik for taking all the pains to actually organize this conclave and binding it together and coordinating the event also. And apart from that, we also like to thank our chairman, Postgraduate Council, Professor Satyasachi Patnaik, for his constant encouragement throughout this process of organizing and coordinating the entire process of conducting this conclave and organizing this conclave. And apart from that, we would also like to offer our thanks to Professor Srinivas Melkote, who joined from US and delivered his keynote address. And apart from that, we would also like to thank all the research persons who have been who have joined from different universities from Odisha, particularly KIT, then Ravenshaw University, Barampur University, and also the media professionals who have joined with us today and will be actually participating in a discussion which will be followed by this inauguration, particularly Dilip sir, Dilip Bisoi sir, and Chirumai Banerjee, then Subhranshu Chaudhary, and some others. So we express our thanks to them also. And most importantly, we thank our students, participants, and faculty members who joined with us from our university, and particularly the media who have shown their presence. And that's all. We conclude our inauguration with our heartfelt thanks to each and everyone, and we'll proceed for the next program, that is a panel discussion on a particular subject, about the name of the subject. So that's all. Thank you.